Imagine being trapped in a frozen wasteland where the air is so cold it burns your lungs, the sun disappears for months at a time, and ice stretches endlessly in every direction, unbroken and merciless. Your ships are locked in the frozen sea. Your food is slowly poisoning you. Your commander is dead, and those around you begin to lose their minds. Some wander off into the snow and never return. Others collapse from exhaustion, and eventually, hunger becomes so desperate that survivors are forced to make a choice no human should ever face: starve or eat the dead. This was the reality for the men of the Franklin expedition, one of the darkest and most chilling mysteries in the history of exploration. A mission that left England with 134 proud sailors and returned with none alive. In 1845, the British Empire dominated the seas. Its navy was unmatched, its ships traveled every ocean, and its explorers were constantly seeking new routes to extend Britain's control over global trade. One of the greatest prizes still undiscovered was the Northwest Passage, a secret labyrinth of icy islands and treacherous waters above Canada. A ship navigating this route would connect the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, cutting thousands of miles from trade routes and giving Britain enormous economic power. But the Arctic was unforgiving. Freezing temperatures could kill within minutes. Ice could crush ships like paper, and countless explorers had vanished before reaching the heart of this frozen world. Still, the British believed in their technology. In May 1845, they launched one of the most ambitious Arctic expeditions ever attempted, led by Sir John Franklin, a 59-year-old veteran naval officer known for surviving the Arctic before. Franklin commanded two state-of-the-art ships, HMS Erebus and HMS Terror, names that seemed ominous in hindsight. Both vessels had reinforced wooden hulls with iron plating to resist ice pressure and were equipped with steam engines, a cutting-edge technology of the time. The ships carried supplies for 3 years, thousands of pounds of preserved food, scientific instruments, navigation tools, and even a small library with over 1,000 books to occupy the men during the long Arctic nights. Everything seemed perfectly prepared, but a fatal flaw lurked in the provisions. The canned food, a relatively new invention, was sealed using lead solder. Over time, lead leached into the food, slowly poisoning the crew. Lead poisoning doesn't kill instantly. It attacks the nervous system gradually, causing fatigue, confusion, stomach pain, hallucinations, and cognitive decline. The men's ability to make decisions eroded, just as they were trapped in one of the deadliest environments on Earth. The expedition left England in May 1845 and was last seen in July near Baffin Bay by whaling ships. The sailors waved, everything seemed normal, and then they vanished. Years passed. By 1848, concern turned to alarm. The British government launched multiple search missions. What they discovered was horrifying. In 1850, 3 graves were found on Beechey Island, belonging to men who had died during the first winter. Over a century later, exhumation revealed extremely high levels of lead in their bones, confirming that poisoning had afflicted the crew. In 1859, Francis McClintock found a message in a metal cylinder, revealing that both ships had become trapped in ice by September 1846. Franklin had died in June 1847. By April 1848, the remaining 105 men abandoned the ships, dragging lifeboats across the frozen Arctic in hopes of reaching safety. None survived. The journey south was unimaginable. Over 100 starving sailors struggled across snow and ice, blizzards constantly erasing their tracks. Many were already weak from disease, scurvy, and lead poisoning. Inuit hunters later reported seeing groups of white men wandering the ice in delirium, some dragging boats, others collapsing from weakness. One witness claimed to see a sailor boiling human bones over a fire. Initially, investigators refused to believe cannibalism among Royal Navy sailors, but evidence eventually confirmed it. Human bones with cut marks and broken marrow bones were found along the survivors' route. The Franklin expedition had been destroyed by a combination of factors: lead poisoning from contaminated food, extreme cold, disease, starvation, and overconfidence in technology. Later, Arctic explorers survived because they learned from the Inuit, adopting their clothing, hunting methods, and understanding of the land. Franklin's men never did. For more than 160 years, the wrecks of the ships remained a mystery. In 2014, HMS Erebus was discovered on the ocean floor, and in 2016, HMS Terror was found. Both ships were remarkably preserved. Doors closed, dishes on shelves, equipment untouched, as if the crew had simply stepped out and never returned. The Arctic had frozen time itself. What began as a mission to extend Britain's empire ended as one of the most haunting tragedies in exploration history. A story of ambition, survival, and the brutal truth of nature. If you want more mysterious and true historical stories, subscribe to the channel. This was your host, Omar Atef.